Good afternoon. It's Friday, August 22nd, 2025. These are the four things you need to know this afternoon. I'm Erick Erickson. Four critical stories today. We'll be honest, truthful, and accurate. No spin, just straight context and clear analysis. Let's jump right in. Up first, the Maxwell transcript has been released. The Justice Department has released the full transcript of Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a highly sensitive document in a case long cloaked in secrecy. Given the public's fascination with Maxwell's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, conspiracy theories have proliferated, fed by the lack of information. The decision to release the transcript offers overdue transparency, letting Americans read the material themselves rather than relying on leaks or speculation, which abound out there on this particular topic. Now, let's be clear. Transcripts don't tell the whole story. They include pauses, nonverbal responses, redactions, and reflect memory under pressure, not a court verdict. But the truth is still better than rumors. When discussions about such explosive topics occur behind closed doors, rumors gain lots of power. Releasing the transcript was the responsible move. It doesn't answer every question. It does dismantle the myth that we're dealing with something nefariously concealed by the powers that be. A free society with a fragile rule of law can't survive on innuendo and secrecy. If you're innocent, transparency bolsters your credibility. If you're guilty, letting light in ensures accountability. And we should welcome the transcript, not because it's perfect, but because it's a step towards clarity. And in a legal system frequently beshrouded by stalled investigations and politics, this matters. President Trump is now advancing the idea of converting a CHIPS Act grant into an equity stake in Intel, nearly 10% ownership by the federal government, making the feds the largest single shareholder of Intel. This isn't about funding innovation. It's a paradigm shift towards socialism. When governments buy stakes in private companies, those companies inevitably begin prioritizing political objectives. Economic decisions become political decisions, executive compensation, hiring, new technologies, manufacturing locations. They all risk being influenced more by political winds than market signals. Proponents argue this will keep chip manufacturing in the United States. Maybe, but the scary part is what it means when the government becomes an investor. Future administrations will expect their agenda to be served through the investment. If Democrats return to the White House, which they eventually will, the same stakes become a channel for partisan influence by the Democrats. That's not industrial strategy, it's state control. Conservatives who believe in free enterprise, competition, and economic vitality need to resist this. Temporary funds should not become permanent influence. The better path is reducing friction, easing permits, funding research, expanding workforce programs, not merging Wall Street with K Street. This is a terrible, terrible idea. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is signaling the possibility of cutting interest rates soon as rationale market weakness and softness and slowing inflation pressures, especially given the drag tariffs are having on the economy, and they are starting to drag on the economy. This runs counter to the trumpeting that the economy is booming. If that were true, we wouldn't need rate cuts on the table. Businesses are actually reporting tighter hiring. Sectors like manufacturing and housing are facing stress. Consumers are feeling squeezed. Credit card delinquencies are ticking up. Savings is trickling down. Prudent fiscal and monetary policy means adjusting when conditions change, not denying reality. A rate cut now is smart governance and probably past due. It supports families, small businesses, and the broader economic headwinds. However, we can't foster complacency. Structural reforms, tax simplification, regulatory relief, energy independence, they're still the long-term fix. Keep energy prices low, expand deregulation. A rate cut buys time, not eternity. Lastly, the Secretary of Defense is authorizing soldiers policing Washington, D.C. to carry guns. This is a no-brainer. It is, after all, law enforcement in a crime-ridden and violent city. The left is so obsessed with this as a federal takeover. Washington's already a city under federal control by virtue of Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the U.S. Constitution. Abdicating governance of the federal district to the local government was always the mistake. There should have been no local sovereign control. Washington should always have been controlled by Congress. Now the results are speaking for themselves with what Donald Trump has done. There have been 0 murders in Washington in 2 weeks. There used to be murders every other day in Washington, D.C. This has been clear progress, showing what dedication to fighting crime can actually do. Facts are stubborn things. They don't bow to talking points. Our commitment needs to be to clarity, confidence, and common sense. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon. I'm Erick Erickson. Have a great weekend, and please stay grounded in the truth.